Imagine for a second what it really feels like when a venture partner moves beyond the usual boundaries, not just advising or writing checks, but stepping into the operator's seat, holding real influence over how companies grow, pivot, and win in the wildest markets. It's not a hypothetical anymore. It's happening, and if it hasn't happened to you yet, it will, or it should. Because sitting on the sidelines, nodding at board meetings, watching founders struggle under pressure while you hope your capital works its quiet magic, that's not enough. Not when you see the potential of companies dying slow deaths or shooting blanks because someone's missing that critical connection, the hands-on, street-level energy and decisions an operator brings. It's a brutal truth that many venture partners face, the frustration of huge responsibility with limited impact. You know the feeling, the late nights staring at spreadsheets or product roadmaps, wondering why growth feels stuck, why the vision isn't firing on all cylinders, why the founders are burning out or losing the narrative. You're close enough to smell the pain, but you're also far enough not to touch the game. That distance kills more dreams than any market downturn. It's a silent killer, an invisible wall built by old rules and outdated ideas of what a venture partner's role is supposed to be. The problem isn't in the money or the strategy, it's in influence, real operator-level influence. That kind of influence isn't just a title or a vote at the table. It's the difference between being a spectator and being a game changer. Imagine tearing down that wall and stepping into the CEO's shoes without losing your identity as a venture partner. It's a delicate dance, holding power, respecting founders, and driving outcomes while never overstepping, but always driving the company forward. Those who master this find themselves not just trusted, but indispensable, not just involved, but inseparable from success itself. But how do you get from where you are, a professional stuck in old dynamics, to this elevated state where your impact is immediate, undeniable, and transformative? First, it requires shaking off the comforting myths holding you back, that you must stay distant, that your role is limited to capital, that founders can own everything and investors only cheer from the sidelines. Those myths drown the fire inside the rare few who know better, who have seen what true partnership looks like beyond checks and calls. This fire, a hunger to roll up sleeves, to dive deep, to craft strategies not just in theory but in practice, is your secret weapon. It connects you to the raw truth. Companies don't need more waiting or endless advising. They need warfighters at their sides. To get that operator-level influence, it begins with humility and respect, but also with relentless clarity. You have to know the business inside out, more than the surface numbers or product sheets. Dive into the trenches of customer feedback, product stress points, team dynamics. Understand not just where the problems are, but why they bleed. The successful venture partners who step into operator roles don't just ask questions, they live in the tension of those answers. They lean into the discomfort of real challenges, whether it's a weakening sales pipeline, an internal culture crisis, or a product not resonating, and they don't back off. They partner with founders not as overlords, but as co-creators. This creates a magnetic energy that pulls teams toward a shared vision because it's built on trust, aligned purpose, and the courage to act. But here's the biggest secret. Operator-level influence doesn't mean taking over. It means amplifying what the founder can't quite reach. It's knowing when to push, when to step back, when to create space for the founder's voice, and when to inject brutally honest perspective that no one else dares voice. This is where so many founders find salvation. When the investor becomes a builder, an operator, a strategist, a hand reaching into the chaos and helping shift the impossible closer to possible. You become more than an investor. You become an essential part of the company's life force. This is the level where venture partners transcend old, stale roles and become true architects of future legends. Yet, this path is messy. It's not clean or easy. Many will resist, question, and even fear your closer presence. Founders may see it as threat before they see it as shield. Here, emotional intelligence is your edge. Operator-level influence demands empathy, but also the iron stomach to navigate conflicts without losing sight of progress. You become a master at reading the room, understanding unspoken fears, and reshaping narratives so innovation can breathe. The pain of leadership is often isolation, and your presence can break that isolation. You don't just solve problems, you lighten burdens, share fires, and hold steady when storms rage. This emotional muscle is what moves companies from surviving to thriving. It's what turns entrepreneurs from scared to unstoppable. Another aspect that rarely gets talked about is patience. Operator-level influence is not a quick fix or a headline grabber. It's a long game. Changing how you insert yourself, changing how founders and teams perceive you, this takes time, trust, and relentless consistency. You have to be patient like a hunter tracking prey, knowing when to strike and when to wait. Build small wins. Demonstrate your unique value repeatedly. Show that your presence is a catalyst, not a disruptor. The shift from investor to operator is less about flashing status and more about steadfastness. It's about presence, impact, and resilience. Without patience, your attempts become noise. With patience, they become power. There's also a mindset shift that you are not just capital providers, but builders at heart. We live in a system that glorifies checks and theory, but the real world demands action and guts. Recognize that your best returns come not from passive bets, but from active involvement, from sweating the details and forging real, gritty connections with teams. When venture partners see themselves as operators, they unlock a new mindset of responsibility and ownership. This breaks the chains of traditional investor distance and unleashes the hunger for true transformation. The companies you back don't need shadows watching them from afar. They need warrior allies standing shoulder to shoulder. This operator-level integration also rewires networks. When you're merely an investor at arm's length, your value is transactional. When you become an operator influencer, your value is exponential because you become the hub of aligned action. People want to work with you, founders want to lean on you, other investors respect your input. This magnetic effect creates a feedback loop of influence, trust, and extraordinary outcomes. This is where rare brilliance meets aligned power. This is how ecosystems of real change are built. This is how venture partners who dare burn brighter than anyone else. They become the architects not of just individual wins, but of entire shift in how venture capital functions. At the end of the day, operator-level influence is a weapon, a responsibility, and a liberation all at once. It's the key for venture partners feeling trapped in outdated roles, watching companies struggle to step up. It's the bridge between potential and reality, the difference between influence diluted by distance and influence sharpened by action. It's about embodying your role, not as passive investors, but as active shapers of destiny. The pain of watching founders suffer alone, watching companies stumble, watching your impact fade into board notes, that can end here. The secret is right in front of you. Step closer. Lean in. Burn brighter. Be more than capital. Because what if the future isn't about watching from the sidelines? What if it's about molding, shaping, pushing until the impossible bends? What if your rare spark, that hunger inside to be more than a passive player, is exactly what the worlds of venture and startups crave? The moment you claim real influence, you stop being part of the problem. You become part of the rebellion, part of a movement beyond systems and illusions, where rare individuals connect and create real change. This operator-level power is your liberation from the old, your invitation to the extraordinary. The world doesn't need more spectators. It needs you to step up, step in, and take the wheel when the moment calls. It needs you to become the operator your portfolio didn't know it was missing, the force that turns chaos into order, pain into progress, and potential into legend. Don't wait for roles to be handed down. Carve them out with your actions, your presence, and your relentless drive. Because the future is made by those who refuse to wait, who refuse to settle, who refuse to play small. Operator-level influence is not just a career evolution, it's a revolution in how venture partners shape the world. So own your place at the table, not as a guest, but as a leader, not as a spectator, but as an architect, not as a voice in the crowd, but as the spark igniting the fire. The companies you believe in, the founders you back, the dreams that fuel this movement, they're counting on you to become more, to burn the old maps, to refine reality on your own terms, to build the future not by waiting, but by acting. The time is now. Step beyond the safe line and see how high your influence can really fly.